Hello, you are watching Box Brita. Our story today will be focusing on Brexit. The UK will no longer be an official member of the EU as of January 31st, 2020. The Leave decision has sparked outrage and celebration throughout the country. As the BBC article states, Brexit parties were held in some pubs and social clubs as well as in London's Parliament Square as the country counted down to its official departure. In Scotland, which voted to stay in the EU, candlelit vigils and anti-Brexit rallies were held. Brexit was sparked after a 2016 EU referendum. In this video description from BBC News, the UK voted to leave by 52% to 48%. This leave decision by the majority of UK citizens prompted former Prime Minister David Cameron to resign.
But the British people have made a very clear decision to take a different path. And as such, I think the country requires fresh leadership to take it in this direction. I will do everything I can as Prime Minister to steady the ship over the coming weeks and months. But I do not think it would be right for me to try to be the captain that steers our country to its next destination. This is not a decision I've taken lightly, but I do believe it's in the national interest to have a period of stability and then the new leadership required. There is no need for a precise timetable today, but in my view, we should aim to have a new Prime Minister in place by the start of the Conservative Party conference in October.
David Cameron was succeeded by Theresa May, who had her Brexit deal voted down by the UK Parliament 3 times.
Over the last few days, people have been asking me what on earth's happening with Brexit. And I can understand that because, after all, it's nearly 3 years since people voted in the referendum for the UK to leave the European Union. Well, where we're at is that the government negotiated a deal with the EU, and my preference was for that deal to be passed by Parliament, and we could leave with the EU on that basis. But Parliament's now rejected that deal 3 times, and right now, as things stand, I can't see them accepting it. But at the same time, Parliament has also said that they don't want us to leave without a deal, with no deal. Indeed, this very week, Parliament's been legislating to block no deal. So the choice that lies ahead of us is either leaving the European Union with a deal or not leaving at all. Now, I think, the government thinks, we absolutely must leave the European Union. We must deliver Brexit. That means we need to get a deal.
Theresa May was then succeeded by the current Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, who won an overwhelming majority in the 2019 snap election and has called Brexit the dawn of a new era.
EU has evolved over 50 years in a direction that no longer suits this country. And that is a judgment that you, the people, have now confirmed at the polls not once but twice. And yet, this moment is far bigger than that. It's not just about some legal extrication. It is potentially a moment of real national renewal and change. This is the dawn of a new era in which we no longer accept that your life chances, your family's life chances, should depend on which part of the country you grow up in. This is the moment when we really begin to unite and level up, defeating crime, transforming our NHS, and with better education, with superb technology, and with the biggest revival of our infrastructure since the Victorians, we will spread hope and opportunity to every part of the UK.
Other Leave campaigners, such as Nigel Farage, said, according to a Reuters article, "The war is over. We have won. This is the single most important moment in the modern history of our great nation." However, Brexit will only be the first step from the UK being completely self-governing, as there will be a transition period because, as an Institute for Government stated, the EU will not negotiate details of new arrangement with the UK until it ceases to be an EU member. The article also states that UK will no longer be a member of the EU, but will continue to be subject to EU rules and remain a member of the single market and customs union and in the transition period, which will last until 31st December 2020. This has been a report about Brexit, and the sources for this report can be found in the description below. Thank you. And please don't forget to like and subscribe.